Yeah, I guess what makes me write is trying to understand why I love music so much. And every piece of music I listen to that inspires me, I try to get inside it and get to the bottom of why am I compelled to listen to it again? And why does it just make me see these visuals and make me, react emotionally this way? And if I can recreate that with my own idea, then I feel like I'm understanding music a little bit more. That's the wonderful thing about Acoustic Chicago, is it's tapping into all those things that are going on in Chicago. Chicago is not just blues. There's so much going on, too much, and it's hard to even think of 10 or 12 artists that would sum up Chicago, because I think it's probably in the thousands of musicians who actually come not even close to summing up what's actually going on in Chicago.
My first musical memory might be my parents used to have these music parties. My dad sang, and they'd have a bunch of friends over, and someone would play the piano, and my dad would sing, and then they'd all end up singing. And I used to sneak down the stairs in my pajamas, the kind when you were real little, and pajamas that had little feet on them. I'd sneak down the stairs and hide behind a chair just to be around the music. And I think I was hooked on music from a very early age. Well, I think Acoustic Chicago is a wonderful idea. I'm so happy that Chris and his compatriots have put as much energy into this as they have, because I think it's a wonderful idea, because the sound of actual acoustic instruments is something that is so engaging to people, and they don't even know it until they sit down in a room and listen to someone play acoustically. But the general public is not really aware of the differences between, samples, loops, guitar. Like, they don't know what they're hearing. So I think it's really great that such a fine engineer as Chris, who's so fantastic, has devoted himself to this project and recording acoustic instruments with so much fidelity, and trying to encourage people to express themselves and to do their own thing. And it's a unique thing, and it's a wonderful idea and a wonderful project, and I'm very happy to be involved in it.
The defining moment that made me realize that I wanted to write songs, my own songs, I went out to a bar called the Green Room. It's in Providence, and I saw this guy with his band, and the way that he sang, and he got all these emotions out, and the way he just emoted, and he just put it all out there. He really took all those emotions and all those things that I was feeling, that I was thinking about, and he put them into these songs. And I just thought that was it for me, that I could really relate to it, and that if I could use that muse, that I really think that it would have been therapeutic for me, and really fun for me to kind of just be able to do some shows and show off all the things that I learned in school about voice. And I love being on stage, and then it just all came together. I think the Chicago scene needs exactly what Stonecutter Records is doing, taking submissions from everyone in the city. There's a lot of talent in the city. It's a huge city. People come here from all over the world, and they they collaborate, and they form bands, and they form they do shows and stuff, and I think that Stonecutter's doing a really good job of going and finding these people and finding the best of the best, and bringing out the best in them. So I think that it's definitely going to happen. It's going to be really cool.
The one defining moment for me, like inspirational, was seeing Stevie Ray Vaughan on TV, and just someone who was just so enveloped by his, what he was doing. It's like he would disappear. The man was like possessed when he played, and it was just amazing and inspiring. And it made me want to, be able to create something like that and slip into that mode and, channel something. I think Acoustic Chicago can just put artists in people's faces, good musicians working with good musicians, and it's something authentic and real, and can't be denied.
I think I realized I was a songwriter when I was the only guy who would want to start a band as a drummer and sing also. And when I was young in grade school, I was always trying to. I had a couple bands where I would be the drummer, but then convince the guys that I should also be the singer. And I had such a hard time getting into either one, so I eventually put the drums down and stole my brother's guitar and started coming up with little chords. I'm sorry, I broke your
E string.
your E string a couple times. Acoustic Chicago is, I think, is the water in a very, very thirsty city. There's great music going on in this city of Chicago, and in the Midwest and in the country. There's great music that is really being snuffed out. We're in a time of just noise being blasted through iPods, through our computer. There's just constant noise being thrown at us that it's hard for an independent artist to even get their voice heard by somebody else, let alone themselves. So I think Acoustic Chicago is great because it takes the voice of these small independent artists and collectively puts it together, and so it's just amplified and says, hey, just look for a moment, give us your time. We're pretty sure you'll enjoy what you're about to experience.